MeteoNook. This amazing Ninja-created site lets you see exactly what your weather is going to be every hour of every day. At first glance, it looks confusing. There's a lot of information to read and a lot of options for the user to fill out. It's all important, necessary information on how everything works so you can understand what you have to do. I get a lot of questions on how to use this website correctly. I was waiting for a meteor shower night to be able to find my weather seed as quickly as possible, so I could in turn explain it to you guys. Unfortunately, I sucked at actually logging on every single day to see if Isabel mentioned anything about a star event. Until this past week. So I took to MeteoNook and figured out how to use it. It took me a couple tries to get it right, but eventually the website was able to align me with a weather seed. So how do you use MeteoNook? When you load up the site, you're met with a lot of words. If you have any questions, this FAQ will most likely answer it, so read it. Once you get through that, click on the Seed tab up at the top. The two options you can use when trying to enter information and find your weather seed are looking at your weather type in-game every hour and enter the information over the course of a few days. Or you can use a meteor shower and time when the shooting stars occur. First, hourly weather. Your island's weather has the chance to change every hour. The beginning of the hour is the true weather for that hour. 30 minutes in, the weather will start to change to whatever the next hour's forecast is going to be. Let's say it's 9 a.m. The early morning hour brings you clear skies and sun, but 10 a.m. is going to have clouds. That means around 9:30, clouds will start to form. It's the game's way of seamlessly merging from one weather type to the other. Top of the seed page shows you an example of what each different weather type looks like. In the winter, obviously pretend your snow is rain. Ninja helped us by adding special cloud types and examples of what they look like with different forecasts. Clear, fine skies are normally free of all clouds, and you just have a blue sky. But if there's a special cloud type, like billow clouds, you'll see special clouds in the sky instead of it being completely clear. The website gives us examples of what this looks like so we can tell the difference between a clear sky and a cloudy one. Scrolling down to the bottom, you'll be able to start entering your information. Everything you enter will be saved to your browser. As long as you continue using the same device, you'll have access to all of your data. First, pick if you set up your island in the northern or southern hemisphere. Next, you're going to make sure that the correct date is selected in the calendar. If you time travel, you can still use MeteoNook, just make sure you click the correct date that your island is currently on. Then you can start entering your special patterns. Ignore this no data option for now. Second bubble is the meteor shower or Celeste visit option. Skip that one as well. Third option is when the weather comes into play. If you have an aurora borealis one evening, then you can enter that here. Click the bubble and some checkboxes will appear. Look at the times and mark the box of the hour that your aurora shows up. If you're entering normal daily weather, click on the none of the above bubble. Only enter information if you are absolutely sure it is correct. If you entered a ton of information and one thing is wrong, the whole thing falls apart, and it's almost impossible to figure out which entry is incorrect. When you select an hour, you might find this symbol next to the weather pattern. This is asking if you have special clouds. If you have these clouds, click that symbol until the checkmark appears. When you enter the weather, you're trying to figure out which possible pattern that day falls into. Once you enter enough information, usually about like 4 or 5 hours worth, the website will tell you that you have enough data added to figure out the day's pattern. Once that happens, move on to the next day. Every time you finish a day and find the pattern, hit start search. If it doesn't find your seed, it'll either tell you that you need more information to narrow it down better, or tell you that you messed up somewhere and no seed matches the data you entered. Like it did to me a bunch. I've never had luck trying to find my seed when inputting my daily weather. There are so many hours where the sky looked in between sunny and cloudy that I entered too many data points incorrectly. You can also go through your album on your Switch to see if you can find any specific weather patterns you took screenshots of, like rainbows or auroras. I like to use the heavy meteor showers instead. Using this method, you can find out your weather seed in one night. You just have to be lucky enough to get a meteor shower. You have to be very precise when using the meteor shower method because you can input them down to the second. I used the clock on my computer since it had an accurate second timer to properly time each star. To start inputting your stars, under special patterns, click meteor shower or visit from Celeste, and then start entering your times. The first drop-down menu is the hour it occurred, the next menu is the minute it occurred, and finally there's a button that says edit seconds. When you click on that, you'll see 8 more drop-down menus. This is where you select the specific second that the star shoots across the sky. Occasionally, 2 stars shot very close to the same time. It was impossible for me to properly time the second star since I was busy inputting the first, so I would leave that star as don't know and continue on to the next one so I could time properly. When in doubt, leave it out. You can also enter any gaps that you have in shooting stars throughout the night. A gap is a whole minute where no stars shoot. Every time I finished entering a minute of stars, I would click the Start Search button to see if the website could find my seed. It took me 6 minutes of stars, with 3 of those having specific seconds entered and 2 gaps for the website to find my seed. And it was such a relief. Once you find your seed, you can see what your weather is going to be like any day, anytime. It's a good way to predict when you're going to have some cool weather coming to you, or to kind of better predict when Celeste shows up. At the beginning of the week, the game will pick a day for Celeste to appear that has a meteor shower or star event. She is impossible to accurately predict in advance, but knowing your star days can help. There are over 2 billion seeds that your island can fall into. It's going to take a lot of work to narrow it down. Do not get discouraged if you're having a hard time. Just keep going and keep trying. I hope you enjoy your newfound god powers. Thank you, Ninji, for your incredibly awesome work. We all appreciate the crap out of you. How many times did you mess up before finding your weather seed? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!